Hello and welcome to the 500 Workshop. Today we're going to be looking at electrics. The other day when I was removing the engine on my car, I accidentally caught a couple of the wires with the engine as we removed it, and the wire has become frayed. So we're going to cut out the pieces of wire that are damaged and replace them with good wire. So here are the wires that we damaged. We've got this one which is damaged along the shaft here, so we're going to have to cut this piece out and splice in a new piece of wire there. And here's one as well which we damaged, which all I'm going to do here is cut out and just connect the wire together to make a new connection and take out that bit of damaged wire. So that's what we're going to crack on with. So first thing we're going to do is take our first wire and we're just going to snip it off around here. There we go. And we can take this and snip it off. Don't want to make it too short, but need to make sure I can get a connection on it. So I'm going to clip it. And then using this tool, we can just strip the wire nice and easily like that. Just going to twist it. Give ourselves a nice connection. By the way, I have already disconnected the battery. If you haven't done that, please do so. In some of my other videos it shows you how to do that. I'm just going to strip this end here as well. There we go. We're just going to make those strips a little bit longer so we can tie in some new a bit easier. Okay, that's nice and long. And just with this one as well, just make that, extend that a little bit longer. There we go. Gives us plenty to deal with. The piece of wire that we cut out will give us an indication of the length we need to put back in. Here I've got some black wire. It should do the job fine. Just gonna evaluate the length. Might make it just slightly longer, because we're going to splice it in. Gonna just clip this off here. Copy, there we go. So again, put it in our tool, give ourselves a reasonable length. Oh. It's almost a bit too long, but I think it's pulled it from the other end, so let's do the other side. Yeah, it has. Okay, just going to do that again. Just trim this one up a little bit. There we go. So we can take our two wires and roll them together. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to use our soldering iron. We're going to put it under the wire and heat the wire up from underneath. Try not to move it's holding it together. And as the copper heats up, we should then be able to get the solder to melt through it. It's not there yet. Okay, here we go. So just run this across, as you can see, melting nicely through the wire, and we can just take that off. And that should be a really good seal. So before we solder this end to the other side, we're going to just thread this bit of heat shrink over, and we'll heat that up in a minute. I'm going to take the other end of our wire here and just thread another piece of heat shrink further down this wire, nice and out of the way. We don't want it to start shrinking with the heat of the soldering iron, so we'll put it quite a long way along, and then we'll wrap these two bits of wire around each other. And then we're going to repeat the process of soldering this in. This wire out the way. Okay, so we've got our soldering iron. I'm going to rest it under here and heat this wire up and get our solder ready. It's going through now. Nice lot of solder on there. Just tie that up slightly. Yeah, all good. Okay, now that's done, just gonna put our sleeve over and we'll warm that up and seal it in a minute. Let's turn our attention to this wire. So should be able to slip these in here, do a cut in the middle. It's not too badly damaged, so hopefully we won't have to take too much of this wire away. Let's strip it generously again, get it about there, maybe a little bit more, just a touch more. There we go. That gives us a nice bit of copper. And this side, just gonna trim that a little bit. Come through, there we go. And then strip. Okay, so before we tie these two together, again, I get a piece of shrink wrap. Put our heat shrink over, try and move it out the way a little bit. And we're just going to again combine the two. Gives a nice connection. Okay, so we can start to heat our wire with the soldering iron. Put pressure on it. Here we go, now it's melting through. Nice. Lead all across that. disconnect our soldering iron, give it a moment to cool. Oh gosh, that's hot. Before we put our shrink over. Okay, so that's cooled down. So we're going to slide, if we can. It's got a bit stuck. There we go. Slide our heat shrink round. Be a little bit tricky going over a corner. Straighten that up a little bit to get it over. There we go. Push that back through. Okay, and now we can take our heat gun. Holding this gently. Just going to slowly. I've only got it on the lowest setting. Don't want to heat the wires up too much. That's pretty good. Do this one. That one's good, and our final one here. And there we go. Fixed all our wires, so hopefully nothing's damaged and everything will work.